All right. So let's just go to the basics. What is a quadratic function? We have 5 bullet points. So let's go one at a time. Can I have a volunteer read the first one, Tyrone?
The graph of a quadratic function is shaped like a parabola.
Parabola. Good. So this is a parabola. Somebody else, bullet point number 2.
I'll read. Parabola. Wait, he read the first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Parabolas have a vertex. Parabolas have a vertex and a line of symmetry.
Okay, so who can identify the vertex of this parabola?
Is it 1?
It's going to be a coordinate point.
Oh.
Good, Emily. 1, 3 right here. The tippity bottom, remember that? 1, 3. And it has a line of symmetry. So that line of symmetry cuts the parabola in half right through the vertex. And that line of symmetry has an equation associated with it as well. So does anyone remember what the equation for this line of symmetry will be? It's okay if not. Where does the line pass through on the x-axis?
1.
Yeah, 1. It passes through the 1. So the equation of this line is x equals 1. That's it.
Oh, I thought it was going to be less simpler.
No, it's pretty easy. Okay, who would like to read the third bullet point?
Can I go again?
I want to get a lot more volunteers today. I appreciate it, Tyrone, but I just want to see who else can read for us. Daniel, Samaj, Jalen. Oh, Jalen can't hear us. Alejandro, who can read the third bullet point?
The vertex is the maximum or minimum of the function.
Thank you, Daniel. All right, and so in this case, is the vertex a maximum or a minimum?
Minimum.
Yeah, it's a minimum. And in this case, the way we talk about a minimum, we look at the y value. So for that point, the minimum is at y equals what? Good, Janelle's 3. Good, y equals 3. Okay, bullet point number 4. Samaj. No? Anyone?
Parabolas either open upward or downward.
Good. And in this case, are we opening upward or downward?
Upward.
Upward. Opens upward. And then finally, I'll give it to you, Tyrone. Go ahead.
Parabolas can have 1 x-intercept, 2 x-intercepts, or 0 x-intercepts.
And what's going on here? Do we have 1, 2, or 0?
1.
Where is it?
Is it?
I think we have 0.
Okay, good. Where do we look to find the x-intercepts?
On the x-intercept. I think on the line, right?
On the x what?
Axis?
Axis. Is the parabola
Oh.
touching the x-axis?
No,
No, so there are no x-intercepts in this case.
it has a y-intercept.
Yeah, it does. What's the y-intercept?
4.
4, yeah. So here, the y-intercept is 4, but it has no x-intercepts. All right, so those are the basics. So we're going to do a problem now where you have, it's going to be a different parabola and you're going to tell me everything about it. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now, domain and range, we did not go over yet, so skip that for now. I'll go over that together, but the rest of it, go ahead and take 2 minutes to figure it out, and we'll come back together. And be ready to answer because I will be calling on you guys. Take about 30 more seconds. All right. You can either just answer out loud, or if you're having issues with your microphone, you can answer in the chat. Can I hear from Emily? What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept 0, -3. Beautiful. Good. Tyrone seems very excited. So Tyrone, what is the x-intercept? Either 1 or more, or 0?
Is the x-intercept 1? Is it 1? Or do I have to put as a coordinate point?
As a coordinate point.
So 1, -2. Wait, no, just 2. Just 2.
Wait, 1, 2? 1, 2 is right here. That's 1, 2. Is that what you mean?
1.5, 2, 1.5. Because it's like in the middle of the 1 and 2.
But we're looking for the place where it touches the x-axis.
1, 2.
But 1, 2 is right here. That's not the x-axis. Where's the x-axis?
1, 0.
1, 0. There you go. 1, 0. That's the x-intercept right here. 1, 0. Now, is there another one? Are there any more?
Yeah.
Where?
-3, 0.
Good. You got it. So 1, 0 and -3, 0. All right. Jalen, what is the axis of symmetry? Oh, Jalen can't hear. I'll put it in the chat. Or he can't. Oh, he can. Okay. Good. -1. And remember, when you write it, it's not just -1, but we're going to write x equals -1. Nice job, Jalen. And finally, the vertex. Samaj, where is the vertex? Samaj going once, going twice. Okay, who would like to help her out? Put it in the chat. Good, Emily. -1, comma -4. The tippity bottom. Okay, so I've got all of that information. Now let's talk about domain and range. When I ask for domain, I'm looking for all of the what values?
The x values.
The x values, good.
Oh, I think I know what it is. I think.
You want to try it? Go for it. It's okay. Even if you're totally wrong,
know.
that's okay.
I know. Wouldn't it be like? I don't know how to say like the range of the x things, the x-intercept. So it would be. Is it an inequality?
It is an inequality.
No, I don't want to try it. No.
Okay, well, how about this? Anybody can answer this question. How far to the left does this function go?
-2.
-2?
No, 3.
-3. Okay, but does it stop at the -3, Alejandro, or does it keep going?
Keep going if the more high you go.
Yeah, it's got an arrow at the end, so I know that this function keeps going. Does it ever stop?
No,
It's infinity.
Oh, yeah, it's infinity. How about on the right side?
it's the same thing.
Also infinity. So the way that I'm going to write my domain, there's going to be two ways you might see it. So I'm going to write it both ways. From -infinity, so x is between -infinity and +infinity. That's the inequality. That's the thing Perla was mentioning, okay? It goes from -infinity to +infinity. You might also see it this way. Sometimes they do it this way. They kind of make it simpler. They do it in brackets. So you'll just see in brackets, the left one is how far it goes to the left, and the one on the right is how far it goes to the right. So it goes from -infinity to +infinity. That's the domain of this function. Questions on domain? Okay, well, if domain is the x values, what's range?
The y.
value.
The y values. And if I'm talking about y values, I want to know how far up and how far down. So now let's think about this. How far up does this function go?
Infinity or
Yeah,
Four.
it goes to infinity, +infinity. How far down does the function go?
-4.
-4, because the minimum is -4. So can anyone try, if it goes from -4 to +infinity, what is my inequality going to be?
would it be actually wait.
I think it. Wait, what sign is that? Less than.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, -4 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to infinity. Positive.
Very close, very close.
Oh.
I'm talking about the range, so it's not going to be
Oh,
x.
-4
yeah,
is less than or
y.
equal to y.
Yeah, exactly. Y in the middle. So I could also write this as -4,
-4, comma infinity.
comma infinity. Exactly.
Yay.
Questions about domain? Questions about range?
Nope.
Questions about Daniel falling off his chair?
Wait, poor Daniel.
Daniel totally face planted and nobody was watching except for
Guess
me.
why'd you have to do him like that? I didn't even see. The chat was blocking his video. I didn't even see.
Okay.
Poor Daniel.
So those are all my basics. Now we're going to go into the forms. So we're going to start with vertex form. Can I have a volunteer read? What does vertex form tell you? Go, Tyrone.
Vertex form tells you where the vertex of the parabola is located and can also tell you the transformation that occurs in the function.
Okay, so like we said before, it tells us where the vertex is located, but what we didn't talk about is that it also tells us the transformation that occurs to the parent function. Remember, this is the parent function. It's the most basic quadratic function there is. Okay. All right. So we already talked about this. What's the vertex? What's the vertex of this function?
Positive 6 comma negative 8.
Good. Positive 6 comma negative 8. Remember that the sign flips. But now let's also talk about the transformation that occurs, because there's three things that happen here. Can anybody remember? Can anybody remember when we talk about transformations, there's vertical translations, there's horizontal, there's shifts, there's a lot of different things that could happen.
Rotation.
Wasn't there like the stretch too?
Yeah, stretch.
That you showed us
compression.
with the rubber band and you got on your desk. I remember.
See, you remember it. That's why I did it, because I wanted you to remember it. All right, so Jalen is good. Jalen, yes, there is a shift, but what type of shift?
Interdimensional shift. I'm joking.
How many units? What direction?
Ms. Lopez, how did you just type and talk at the same time? Like
I
you
can
were
multitask.
Like, you're the god of
like you're
multitasking.
just
I didn't even see you type.
yeah, you were just like
You're just like so fast.
What's going on here? Up, down, left, right. How many
Is
units?
it? I want to say down, but I'm probably wrong.
You're correct. Down.
Wait,
but-
what? 8?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh wow.
Nice job. This negative 8 is my vertical shift. So I know that it goes down 8 units. What else happens? There's 3.
Emily said it.
Oh, Emily said it. Right 6 units. Good. This is my horizontal shift.
And left 2 units.
Mm,
Wait. No.
what is the 2
Does
tell
it
me?
have to do with the 2? Does
Yeah.
it like tell you to go up since it's not negative, or?
We already know it goes down. We already know it goes to the right. So this last part, good, Emily. This is our stretch
Oh, big brain Emily.
versus compression. In this case, it's a stretch. So is that graph going to be skinny or thick?
Skinny.
It's going to be a skinny graph. Okay. So this is everything we know about the function. We know a lot of stuff, right? But I'm still missing a lot of information. If we think about all of the things we did in the previous problem, the x-intercepts, the axis of symmetry, the vertex, all of that stuff, what do I not know?
the y intercepts and the x
The
intercepts.
x-intercept.
Yeah, we don't know the y-intercepts or the x-intercepts. So this is something that we need to find out. So before we do that, do I have any questions so far? I know the vertex, but that's all I know. Any questions before I move on? Okay. So how do I figure out the x-intercepts? Because I want to know what it is.
Miss, can you go back? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Wait, I also have a question.
Okay, got it.
So
What's your
there's 3
question?
forms. There's the standard form, the vertex form, and the factored form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and right now we're just talking about vertex form.
So we're gonna do factored in the next one.
Not yet.
All right.
Okay, because right now we're trying to figure out, we know the vertex. Let's write it down. So we know the vertex. And like we said before, it's at 6 comma negative 8. What we don't know
is the x and y intercept.
x or y intercepts, yeah. So let's see if we can figure out the x-intercepts. Tyrone, you want to read in order?
Sure.
Yeah.
In order to
It's
find
nice
the
outside.
x-intercepts, you must set the equation equal to 0 and then solve for x using the properties of equality.
Exactly. So we're going to do exactly what Tyrone just said. We're going to set this equation equal to 0. And we're going to use the properties of equality to solve for x. So I want you guys to write this one down. This is going to be very good to have in your notes when you're studying. So notebooks should be out, pencils should be writing. Start with the original function, y equals 2 times x minus 6 squared minus 8. And let's work together to solve this. Figure out what's the value of x. What should I
Ms.
do
Lopez,
first?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Don't you do the exponents with the parentheses first? Or do you distribute first?
So good question. That's exactly what I was gonna kind of ask. We need to solve for x. So think about the goal. The goal is to get x alone, right? So will it be helpful to do stuff to x or to write or to move stuff away from x?
Move it away.
Yeah, we want to move things away from x. So what should I do first?
What was the question? I was explaining to
Maybe,
Jane.
take the square root to take off the exponent.
I want to do that eventually, but I can't do that right now because there's a lot more going on. So what should I move away from the x first?
The 8.
Yeah, the 8. How do I move it?
Adding it.
Yeah, we're gonna add 8.
Hey, why don't you?
Okay, so that 8 goes away. Now I have 0 plus 8, so I'm left with 8 equals 2.
Miss, it's
Times-
coming back to my mind. I know
Good.
what to do.
Good.
We're
All right,
gonna
now
divide
what?
by 2.
Now we can divide
Divide
by
by
2. Good.
Yes, it's coming back.
Still a big brain.
We divide by 2 to get rid of the 2. 8 divided by 2 is
4.
4. Now I have x minus 6 squared. Now, Perla, what can I do?
Yeah, take the square root.
Now I can take the square root. Everybody with me so far? I'll pause here. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay. Now, here's a very important part. When you take the square root of a number, you actually get 2 answers. Does anybody remember why that is?
Wait, what was the question?
When you take the square root of a number, you
Yes,
actually end up with 2 answers.
I remember because
What
when you
happens?
take the square root of you can also get negative, and the reason is because a negative number times a negative number equals the same number.
Excellent. Good job, Alejandro. Exactly. So when you take the square root of 4, we end up with 2 answers. We get positive 2 equals x minus 6, but we also get negative 2 equals x minus 6. Okay, so that's going to be very important to remember that when you take the square root of a number, you end up with the positive answer and the negative answer. Nice job, Alejandro. Okay, we're almost there. I gotta get x by itself. What do I do to both sides?
Wait.
No.
No.
Yeah, add.
Oh,
Plus
add
what?
6.
Yes, sir. 2 plus 6.
It sounds so loud. I can hear myself through Tyrone's mic.
What?
That just means Tyrone has his headphones really loud. All right, 2 plus 6 is, I get 8. And negative 2 plus 6, I get 4.
4 equals that.
So now I know my x-intercepts are +8 and +4. So yay, we got that. Now we know the y, and now all we're missing is the y-intercepts. Okay, so now I know. Let
Don't
me
we
add
turn
that to
the
the list.
equation into standard form?
Oh, you're ahead of me.
And Pearl's so ahead of
It's
everybody.
Miss, it's just coming back to me. I just remember like the end of the year how I struggled with it, but then I got it, but I still struggled. That's all I'm remembering.
That was the point of today, because the thing is, this is the last thing we learned, kind of, right, before Corona hit. So, all right. Questions on how I got the x-intercepts?
No,
Okay, so what's the only thing we have left to find?
the y-intercept.
The y-intercept. Let's go through it. Tyrone, what do we need to do?
When an equation is in vertex, oh wait, do I need to read that again?
Yeah.
When an equation is in vertex form, the only way to find the y-intercept is by converting it to standard form. Convert the following vertex form equation to standard form.
All right, so now we need to convert this into standard form. Now, Perla, what you were saying before is what we're gonna do.
Pearl is ahead of everyone. Big brain.
What we're gonna do first is FOIL.
Oh, I remember foil.
You remember this?
Tin foil. That's all I know.
So this is the same, because of this exponent, what does an exponent make you do?
Oh, multiply it by itself. I remember.
Multiply it by itself. So I'm doing x minus 6 times x minus 6. We're gonna FOIL. Y'all ready?
Yes, I remember. Yay.
Hey,
Okay.
Perla.
First, x times x, what's that?
Wait. X? Just
No,
X?
2x.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
2. No, 1x? Wait.
X squared.
Ah,
Oh.
Yeah,
x squared.
2x is x plus x. That's
Yeah. What's x times negative 6?
negative 6x.
Mm-hmm. What's negative 6 times x?
Negative 6x.
Negative 6x again. And what's negative 6 times negative 6?
36.
Oh,
36.
wait, just 36.
Good, positive 36. Okay. Step 1 was FOIL. Step 2, we're going to simplify. Because I can combine like terms. What can I combine?
Negative x and negative x. I mean, negative 6x and negative 6x.
Good, negative 12x. Step 3, we can distribute. So we're going to distribute that 2. So what do I end up with?
2x squared minus 24x plus 72.
Good. And then I bring down my minus 8. And we
I had done that.
simplify one more time. What's my final answer?
2x squared minus 24x plus 60.
So much math. My
Plus
brain
6.
is expanding.
60.
60 what?
64.
64. Good. There it is.
Miss, right? It's always the one with the exponent or with the leading coefficient, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so the 2, the one that's in front, that's the leading coefficient. What is the y-intercept?
0.64.
Good.
Wait, how'd you get 0?
Because the y-intercept always starts with 0.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, cool, cool, cool. We did everything we needed to do. Now let's list everything we know about this function. What do we know?
The x and y intercept.
Mm-hmm.
The
What was the x-intercepts?
was it
6.
8,
Oh, never mind.
8,
Oops.
8 and 4?
Yeah, 4, 0, and 8 comma 0. And what's the last thing I know?
I forgot. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry, miss. Hold up.
It's okay. Anyone else can answer? Good, Emily, the vertex. Where is the vertex? 6 comma negative 8. Nice job. Okay, so I'm going to take all that information, and on the next slide, now I can graph this function. So let me copy this. Can I copy it? Yeah. Cool. Now that I have all that I need, I can go ahead and graph. So I'm going to put each point down on this graph. I have my y-intercept. Obviously, I can't put the y-intercept down. We're going to skip that one. But I have my x-intercepts. Those I can graph easily. 4 comma 0 and 8 comma 0. And then my vertex is at 6 comma negative 8.
Negative 8.
Right here. Let me do that again.
Big process.
There we go. And now I'm going to make my parabola. Remember, we make a nice U shape.
It's skinny.
It's very skinny, just like we predicted. There it is. Questions, comments, concerns?
No concerns.
No concerns? It's all coming back to us, right?
A little.
A little bit? Okay, so that's vertex form. Let's go ahead and now we're going to move on to standard form. Take it away, Tyrone.
Standard form tells you where the y-intercept of the parabola is located. It can also tell you which way the parabola opens and whether it is stretched or compressed.
Okay. So we know the y-intercept. What's the y-intercept?
What you say? What's the y-intercept?
Good, 20. And remember, it's 0 comma 20. And like Tyrone was reading, it also tells us which way the parabola opens and whether it's stretched or compressed. How do I know that information? Which number tells me this information? How do I know if it opens upwards, downwards?
6? Wait, is it negative 2x squared?
The negative 2. That is the leading coefficient. So since that leading coefficient is a negative number, what do I know? Since that leading coefficient is negative, what do we know?
Will the parabola open down?
Good. Downward. And is it going to be a stretch or a compression?
Stretch.
Stretch.
Number 1.
Good. So it's going to be skinny. Okay. So that's all we know. That is all the information. We don't know anything else. So therefore, what do I not know?
We do not know the x-intercept and the vertex.
Good.
Wait.
Good job.
Good job.
Yay.
We do not know the x-intercepts or the vertex. Okay, so all we know, we only have one piece of information. We know the y-intercept, and we know which way the graph is facing. So how can I figure out the vertex?
Wait, what did you say? How could we figure out the vertex?
The vertex, does anybody remember?
Don't we convert it? We have to factor it, don't we? I forgot.
That's going to be for the x-intercepts, but I want to know about the
Oh.
vertex.
Galen said vertex form.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to need to use actually, take it away, Tyrone.
The only way to find the vertex of an equation in standard form is to use the vertex formula.
Vertex formula. Here's the vertex formula. Remember, we've memorized this, haven't we? This is definitely, you guys will have to have this memorized for the EOC. So write it down. Make sure.
Oh, this.
It's gonna
Okay.
be.
That's coming up soon,
Oh,
but
the
not yet.
song.
That's coming up soon, but that's not yet. Not yet.
B over 2A.
Yeah, just negative b over 2a. So here in our example that I have here, what is remember that we have A, B, and C. So what is A?
20?
A, B, and C.
Wait.
Miss, I just got a flashback. You had given us a quiz on this and you asked for the vertex formula. And I think it was me and Janelle's put that, and you weren't asking for that. You were asking like in the equation, what was the vertex formula, but you still gave it us.
I do
I'll be
remember this.
remembering
Why
every
do I
little
remember
thing.
that?
Flashbacks. War flashbacks. What's my A? What's my A? What's my B? What's my C?
Your A.
It's -2, your B is 6, and your C is 20.
Good.
Bro.
Now we're going to use the vertex formula.
H equals. No, it's not.
Wait, Miss,
This
why
one
is it
says-
H?
So this one says H. You can also use X. That's because if you remember from vertex form, the vertex is at H comma K.
Oh,
Remember that? So that's why they used H, but you can also use X. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so what am I plugging in for my numerator?
Galen said something.
Yeah, -6 over 2 times -2. Good. All right. What do I get?
-6 over -4.
Mhm.
That simplifies is -3. Oh wait, sorry, +3 over 2.
Good. 3 over 2. All right, so I know that X is 3 over 2. But now I still need to know the Y, because remember, vertex has to be X comma Y, H comma K. So how do I figure out the Y value?
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Yeah, good job. So first use the vertex formula, then you plug it in. So I have R of X, but I'm just going to write Y equals -2. We're going to plug it in a couple of times. Okay, I want you guys to write this down. Write it in your notebook. Here we go. What do I do first? Exponents, parentheses, multiplication. What do I do first?
Exponent. Oh wait.
Exponents first. Yeah, you're right. So if I'm doing 3 over 2 to the power of 2, that means the numerator and the denominator get put to the power of 2. So what do I end up with?
Can I use my calculator?
Oh, you do not need your calculator. 3 to the power of 2.
Paula can't do mental math 101. Let me stop.
9.
9 over 4.
9 over, good, 9 over 4. Okay. Now I can multiply. -2 times 9 over 4. 18, well, careful, we gotta multiply only the numerator. So it's negative 18 over 4. Keep the denominator. What about here? 6 times 3 over 2. Good, 18 over 2. Can we simplify that? Nine, good. Plus 20. Okay, now I can add. So this is 29, and now, okay, this is a little bit annoying to do, but can anyone figure out the final answer?
Can I just make it into a decimal, or do I have to do the common denominator and make that into a fraction?
How about this? 18
Not-
over 4 is, can you make that into a mixed fraction?
Oh yeah, that's 4 over 4 and 1/2.
4 and 1/2, yeah. Negative 4.5.
Yeah.
So what's 29 minus 4.5?
25. Oh wait, no. 24.5.
24.5.
Yay, that's better.
My poor brain.
Well, it's 24.5, but I want to write that as a
Fraction.
fraction.
So would it be 24? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jalen is accusing me of something I'm not doing. I would like my lawyer, please.
We can't even hear you. So
How do I keep that as a fraction though, as an improper fraction? Twenty-four and a half, improper fraction.
What was the question?
How do I turn that into an improper fraction? 24 and a half.
Would you?
Nope, not 24 over 2. Does anyone remember? Multiply 2 times 24 and then add 1. What's 2 times 24?
48,
Plus 1?
49.
49.
49 over 2. So the y,
I'm done, miss. I had heard something else.
49 over 2. So my vertex, I know we just did a lot of stuff, but my final answer as a coordinate point, the vertex is 3/2, comma 49 over 2. It's not the prettiest vertex in the world. That's okay. We forgive her. This was a little bit of a challenge one because there were a lot of fractions. But does anyone have any questions about the steps we took to get there?
No.
Look carefully, trace all of the steps we took. Today's all about asking
Memorize it.
questions.
Gotta memorize this.
Okay. What are we still missing? We know the y-intercept. We know the vertex now. What are we still missing?
The x-intercept.
The x-intercepts. So let's go ahead and see what we need to do. Go ahead and take it away.
Yay. Factoring is the opposite of FOILing and allows us to find the x-intercept of an equation in standard form. Note, not every standard form equation is factorable.
Okay.
Wait, I think I remember this. You showed us. It was like
Bruh.
m times. Never mind. That's not it. That was for something else. But you
got it.
had taught us like m times n equals like c. I don't remember. It was something like that.
Yes, we'll go over that in a minute. But first, so we're going to factor this. So the first thing when you factor, you want to think, is there a number that all three of the terms have in common? Can I take anything out?
Two, like
Of all
2x
three.
and 6x.
What do they have in common?
They both have a variable. Or
They
like
both have a
x.
variable, but I need something where all three have in common. So what do all three of them have in common? What was
Two.
that,
A
Pearl?
number.
2.
2, yeah. All of them have
Oh.
2. You can divide each of them by 2. So the other thing though is I want to get rid of that negative as well. My goal right now is to get rid of my leading coefficient altogether. So I'm going to get rid of that -2 by factoring it out. So if I take out a -2 from each term, what do I end up with?
Like if we divided it,
Yeah, all of them get divided by -2.
Negative 3x.
and negative 10.
Or
Go in order. When I take away -2 from the first
Oh.
one, what do I end up with?
negative
X squared
Just x squared
minus 3x
minus
minus
3x
10.
minus 10, exactly. All we did was take out a -2. We're kind of doing the opposite of distribution. So we factored out -2. This was the opposite of distributing. Because if I distribute that -2, I'll go back to what I started with. Now that I've gotten rid of that -2, what I'm going to do is figure out how can I factor this trinomial. And that's what Perla was saying before. So the trinomial, you can split it up. The question is, what two numbers will add up to -10? This is the m and the n thing. So m plus n is -10. M times n. Oh wait, I did it the wrong way. I'm sorry. M plus n is -3. M times n is -10. What number will get you that combination? So again, what two numbers add up to -3 and multiply to -10?
5 and no, negative 5 and 2.
-5 and 2. You got it. -5 and 2. Would anyone like to explain that again? -5 times 2. What's -5 times 2?
Negative 10.
What's -5 plus 2?
Negative 3.
Exactly. So my two factors are -5 and +2. So I get x minus 5 and x plus 2. That's it. Guys, all these side conversations, stop them right now because we really need to focus. EOC. Questions so far on how I did that factoring? Tyrone, I don't know. You spent that whole time asking questions to Perla and Alejandra in the chat. Are you sure you know what you're doing? You wrote it down. Okay. Now that I have my factors, what are the x-intercepts?
Positive 5 and negative 2.
+5 and -2. 5, 0, and -2, 0. Because we take the opposite of what's in the parentheses. So now let's go through it. We just found everything. Let's list it out. What are the 3 values that I now know?
The x-intercept
Mm-hmm.
The y-intercept,
and the vertex.
Okay, but what were the actual numbers we got?
the y-intercept is 0, 20.
Mm-hmm.
And the vertex was 3/2, 49/2.
Thank you. Good. And the y-intercept we said was 0, 20. Okay, I'm going to take all that information. I'm going to graph this parabola. Okay. Vertex is a really annoying number, so I'm going to skip that for now, but I'm going to graph the x-intercepts, 5 and -2. I know that the vertex, okay, is this opening downwards or upwards?
Downwards.
Downwards.
Good. The vertex is in fraction form, but sometimes decimals are a little easier to understand. So what would I get as a decimal?
1.5
Mm-hmm.
and 24.5.
Good. Now, obviously that is kind of off of my graph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna be able to draw a perfect graph, but I'm gonna estimate it as best as I can. This parabola kind of goes like really far up and then far down. So this one wasn't a great example for graphing because I'm not able to get it perfectly. But as long as we know that what it should look like, we know it's skinny, we know it opens downward, that's a good amount of information. Any questions on standard form and everything we did with standard form? All right. Finally, we go to factored form. Tyrone.
Factored form tells us where the x-intercepts of the function are located and can also tell us which way the parabola opens and whether it is stretched or compressed.
Okay, so here, what are my x-intercepts?
-1 and 3.
Don't forget to switch them to flip the sign.
-3 and 1.
-3 and 1. Good. And which number tells me the way that the parabola opens?
2.
Yeah. That's
Well,
still my
that's
leading coefficient. So what's going on in this one? Does it open upward, downwards?
It's upwards because it's not negative.
Good. Opens upwards. Stretch or compression?
Stretch.
Good. Stretched. What am I missing?
Your y-intercept and vertex.
Good. So let's figure out how we can get that information. Does anyone have any guesses? How could I figure out the y-intercept or the vertex?
By simplifying it, like foiling.
Good. And what would foiling do? What will it turn it into?
Standard form.
Standard form. Good. So let's go ahead and do that. We can convert from factored form to standard form by using FOIL. Let's go ahead. So I'm going to keep the 2, but I can FOIL everything else. So what do I get? X times x?
X squared.
Mm-hmm. X times -1?
Mm, negative 1x or
3 times x?
3x?
3 times negative 1.
Wait, what did you say?
The last one, 3 times negative 1.
Negative 4?
Times, multiply,
Oh.
negative 3. Good, Janelle's. Okay, so step 1 is FOIL. Now we can distribute. Well, first we should simplify, I'm sorry. When I simplify, combine like terms, what do I get?
You would add like terms, which is negative 1x and 3x.
Good, and what does that give me?
2x.
2x. Okay, now we can distribute. Do. What do I get?
Y is equal to 2x squared plus 4x minus 6.
Perfect. So now what do I know?
You know the y-intercept.
Which is where?
Negative 6. 0 comma negative 6.
Perfect. What do we know? What are we still missing?
The vertex. We know the y-intercept and the x-intercept, but we're missing the vertex.
Good. Missing the vertex. So let's go ahead and see what do you guys think? How do you think we'll be able to figure out the vertex?
I remember I hated this because you were supposed to, in some occasions, you would add a number and then some you would like put negative.
Jalen, turn it into vertex form. Well, okay, so we're not going to turn it into vertex form, but we can use the vertex formula. Yeah, because now I have a standard form equation. And when you're in standard form, you can use the vertex formula. Negative b over 2a. Okay, what's my a, what's my b, what's my c?
Is your a 2x squared?
Just the
Your
2, what's the b?
4 and c negative 6.
All right, let's plug that into the vertex formula. What do I write?
X equals negative 4 over 2 times 2.
Good, which is negative 4 over 4, which means my vertex is
1.
Careful.
Negative
Negative 1. Good. Now what do I do with that?
Plug it back in.
Good. Plug it back in. So now we plug it in. Y equals 2 times blah, blah, blah squared plus 4 times blah, blah, blah minus 6. I plug in negative 1 everywhere. Exponent goes first. So what's negative 1 squared?
Negative 1 squared, would it be negative 2 or wait?
Remember that when we use an exponent, we're multiplying it by itself. So who can tell me negative 1 to the power of 2?
Is 1.
Is positive 1, exactly. So this is 2 times positive 1 times 4 times negative 1 minus 6. All right, now we multiply. Go ahead. Who can give me what do I get? 2 times 1?
2 minus 4 minus 6. Simplified, it's 2 minus 10, negative 12.
Negative 12. Nice job.
Yay.
2 minus 10. Wait, hold up. What did you do? You did 2 minus 12? 2 minus 10?
Yeah, so it's negative 4 minus 6. Oh,
Mhm.
no, never mind. That's a
Yeah, be
positive.
careful. Yeah.
10.
So yeah, because 2 minus 4 is -2, right? And then -2 minus 6,
Eight.
-8. Yeah, you got to be a little bit careful. That I know that that's confusing because
That's what happens when I try to do quick maths all the time.
All right, so what's my vertex?
Negative one.
-8. Wait. Yeah.
Good job, Perla. -1, comma, -8. Nice job. So now we have everything
Now
we
we
need.
got it.
Yeah, now let's list everything we know. And the chat as well. I want to see you guys in the chat. So what's my vertex? I know that is, we just got that. That's -1, comma, -8. What else do I know?
The y-intercept,
Mm-hmm.
which is 0, comma, -6.
Good. The y-intercept is 0, comma, -6.
And you also know the x.
And Jalen is putting it in the chat. What else? The x-intercepts, what are they? Good, Jalen. There was 1, comma, 0, and what was the other one? Good, Emily. -3, comma, 0. Nice job. So now we know everything. Let's go ahead and graph it. And look, this one is nice. It has nice numbers. Hopefully we'll be able to graph this one.
No fraction.
No fractions, nothing crazy. Let's see what it looks like. Vertex, -1, comma, -8. -1, comma, -8. Here we go. The y-intercept is -6. And then my x-intercepts are 1, comma, 0 and -3, comma, 0. Putting it all together, I make my parabola. Ooh, that was an ugly parabola.
Oh, whoa.
Let me try that again. That's a little bit better. Here we are. How do we feel? Give me a in the reaction buttons. Up, thumbs down, or any other emoji you wish to use. How do we feel about this so far? Emily has a thumbs up.
Insert thumb to the side.
Eric is clapping. Does that mean like in the middle?
I think he means that he's happy it's finally over.
Probably. He put
All
a
right,
heart.
we could have a heart. I love that.
Thumbs in the middle for me.
Janelle's and Perla are both stressed. That's what you're giving me, a stressed face. Oh, but you were giving me all the right answers, Miss Perla. There's no reason to be stressed. Hi, Mr. Paramore. How are you?
How are you?
Doing well? I like your mask.
You're watching your fabulous students here.
They're doing
Looking at
really well.
vertexes is making me dizzy, so I'm gonna leave now.
You should sit in for a lesson. I can teach you something.
Yeah, not right now. I gotta get my mind right first.
Okay, you let me know though. Alrighty, so to review what we've done so far, we looked at vertex form, we looked at standard form, we looked at factored form, and we were able to know everything about those 3 types of functions, right? Well, here's the question though. What happens if you cannot factor
Uh-oh.
your quadratic formula? Uh-oh, we run into an issue. This is where we get everybody's favorite song.
Oh no.
Everybody's favorite song. We remember this, right?
I
X
remember I
equals
still won the
negative
Uber. I won
plus
the
or
Uber.
minus the
for that.
square
Root of b
square minus 4ac.
All over to a.
What happened to the rap? Can we watch the rap if we're done early?
If we're done early. Yeah. That was beautiful, guys. You just made my heart very happy. We only have about 10 minutes left, so I think we'll finish this slide and then we'll be done.
And my ear's very mad.
Oh no.
So here's my
Miss-
question. Here's my
Wait.
question. How come you cannot factor this function?
Oh, because it's not in order. It's not in standard form. The leading coefficient is not there. that way? No, never mind. Don't
Is it
listen to
because
me.
it equals
Don't
0 or
listen to me.
something?
Don't listen to me. I'm wrong.
Do not worry. Don't I you are so afraid of making mistakes, Perla, but your mistakes are always right.
Wow, imagine.
So you're on the right track. It has something to do with the leading coefficient. What is the leading coefficient of this one?
Negative
Negative
9x squared.
Negative 9x squared. Yeah. We should probably move that to the correct place, shouldn't we, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's rearrange this. So we're going to move this around. This needs to go there. So this would be negative 9x squared plus 3x plus 10. Are we good now?
Yes.
It's in factored form? Okay. Or sorry, standard form. But
Oh, I
remember,
have another idea.
yes,
Because they don't have like the thing it could be divided by.
right, exactly. So the leading coefficient is negative 9, right? You can only factor it in this class. In algebra 2, it's going to be a different story. But in algebra 1, we're only going to factor things if there is no leading coefficient. So the reason we can't factor is because the leading coefficient
Doesn't make or doesn't work.
is not 1. We want it to be a 1, but it is a negative 9. So I can't really do much. So that's where the quadratic formula comes in. Quadratic formula.
X equals negative b. I still remember when I won. I'm so happy.
All right, so let's plug everything in. What is my A?
Your A is 3. Your B,
Remember that it has to be, we put it in order. So now that it's in order, what's the A?
Negative 9,
Mm-hmm. What's the B?
3,
C?
10.
10.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to plug it all in. X equals,
Negative b,
but what do I put?
negative 3.
Negative 3 plus or minus the square root of
B squared, so 3 squared.
3 squared minus,
Minus 4ac, so negative 9, 10.
good. All over,
2a, so 2 and negative 9.
good job. Okay. Everything's in, now we simplify. So I gotta take everything and everything under the radical, we gotta simplify all that.
Wait, what's the radical again?
Square root symbol.
Oh,
Okay. So in there, what's 3 to the power of 2? Three squared, what is that?
9,
9. And now I have to do, okay, negative 4 times negative 9 is
36,
positive 36. And then positive 36 times 10,
360.
360.
360.
As you see, I like this better. You just have to plug it in. But that thing with converting, that's too much.
Oh, it's not too much. You're just fine. Just fine.
Too much.
Oh, it's just being Perla.
Too much. Okay, what's 9 plus 36? 360, I mean, it's 369. Okay,
Ms. Lopez, I'm gonna do the practice EOC to see what I get.
do
How
it.
do you do the practice EOC?
I'll share that with you guys on Teams
Okay.
or tomorrow during class. We'll have a little bit of time. All right, and so what do we got? Negative 3 plus or minus. What's the square root of 369?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
To get my calculator.
Was what?
19.
The square root of
09, etc.
the square root of 369.
Is it 19.20937272123?
Yes.
The number.
Yes. So in other words, it is not a whole number, is it?
Nope.
No.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. So this is kind of where, okay, we have 5 minutes left. Let me see if I can get this down. If not, don't worry. If I'm rushing, I'll start on this slide tomorrow, okay? But the number 369, right? Can you think of a number that goes into 369 that you can take the square root of?
No.
Is there a number, and I'll say it again, is there a number that goes into 369 that you can take the square
2
root of?
times.
Any amount of times. What's a factor of 369 that you can take the square root of?
123. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, it is. That is a factor.
It is, yeah. It is. Can you take the square root of 123?
Yes.
I think that would be like a decimal because it ends in an odd number.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that.
Yeah.
So
What
keep
about
thinking. Is there a number?
246?
240.
123 plus 123 is 246.
But
Wait,
that's not
no.
a factor.
Oh yeah, never mind.
What are some factors of the number 369? What is that divisible by?
9.
9. Yeah, 9 is good because you can take the square root of 9, right? Anything else? I like 9. Let's stick with 9. So
9.
what is 369 divided by 9?
41.
41. So
Quick math
369,
with mental math.
369 is the same as 9 times 41, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We can take the square root of 9. So this is the same as, and again, we're out of time, but I took the square root of 9, I got 3. So the
Oh, you
3
can
can
do
now,
that?
yep,
3 times the square root of 41.
mhm.
Oh.
And time's about to end, so I'll leave you with this. We'll pick it back up tomorrow. We're gonna
Okay.
just finish this tomorrow, and then we're actually gonna do some problems from that practice test, Perla, so you can get a head start on that tonight, but we will be doing some of those
Okay.
tomorrow as well. All right, y'all, good job today. I love the participation. You guys were on point. I heard from Alejandro, I heard from Daniel, I was hearing from Emily. That's what I wanna see. So good job. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Miss Lopez.
Bye.